Welcome to the Reawaken You podcast, the podcast for women who are done dimming their light. I'm your host, Kate Parker, empowerment coach and founder of Reawaken Coaching. Together, we'll dive into authenticity, sovereignty, and the art of self-leadership. Everything it takes to embody your own queen energy and create a legacy that's unapologetically yours. Let's begin. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today I just wanted to talk about why like-minded souls find us, in love, friendship, and all of those spaces in between. Because recently I have been reconnecting with people, old and new people, and it's been fun, but it was also really unexpected. It's unexpected when you start developing these relationships with people and you're not entirely sure where to from here. You want these people in your orbit. So speaking of which, there are moments in life when someone steps into our orbit and our whole body reacts before our mind even has a chance to catch up, and that's the space that I've been in recently. There's a subtle inner click, a gentle pull forward. It's this familiar recognition that makes absolutely no logical sense, and inside, like, your brain is screaming at you saying, I know you somehow. And it could be like a romantic interest, or it could be a colleague or a future best friend, or someone you've only exchanged like 5 sentences with, but something in you softens, something in you expands, something in you whispers to pay attention. And we call it attraction, because the truth is much deeper than chemistry or butterflies. Attraction in its highest form is not about infatuation, it's about resonance. We're not drawn to people at random, we're drawn to people who match us at the level of story, of frequency, of emotional pacing, humour and values and lived wisdom, and the version of ourselves that we are becoming. And this is why when you meet a like-minded soul, whether it's love or friendship, the experience feels less like fireworks and more like coming home. Home, after all, isn't where everything is perfect, but home is where everything seems to make more sense. You see, your nervous system, it recognizes safety before your mind recognizes compatibility. Before psychology even gave us language, our bodies, they were already speaking. Every moment we were scanning for connection, alignment, attunement, and most importantly, we were scanning for safety. Not in a romantic way, but in an energetic, nervous system, deeply human way. Because when you meet someone who aligns with your pace, values, emotional rhythm, your body immediately tells you in different ways. Your shoulders drop, your humour resurfaces, your breath, it deepens, your mind stops performing. Your internal monologue, it starts to quieten down. That's if you have one. I recently found out that half the population don't. But you feel more you than what you have in a long time. And this is not magic. This is co-regulation. This is 2 nervous systems syncing into a shared harmonious rhythm. And it's why certain people feel overwhelmingly comfortable even early on. And it's not familiarity, it's alignment. Attraction feels like home because your body recognizes the person long before your mind builds the story. So what we draw in is what we're growing into. Despite what pop psychology suggests, or Instagram, we don't attract from our past, we attract from our trajectory. Who you are becoming is far more magnetic than who you've been. And when you evolve, your circle evolves, and when your standards rise, your relationships start to refine. And when you stop settling, new people begin to appear, people who meet you, they match you, they expand you. Because attraction isn't accidental, it's energetic coherence. Your frequency calls, their frequency answers, and both of you feel it. This is why connection with like-minded people feels effortless. It's alignment, it's not effort. It's resonance, not chasing. It's recognition, not some weird fantasy. And the deeper truth is that attraction appears the moment you become ready, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, to receive it. In some connections, they feel older than we are. There's this invisible thread that pulls us towards our people. It's a familiarity that defies logic. The conversation flows without force. Humor is natural. Silence feels peaceful. Our pacing matches. The curiosity is mutual. The presence between you, it feels grounding rather than overwhelming. And they understand your meaning, not just your words. They hear what you didn't say. They see the intelligence beneath your chaos and the tenderness beneath your armor. And when souls recognize each other, the connection isn't loud, it just feels very clear. And clarity is one of the most potent forms of attraction that we have. And when this happens, it starts to feel like home, even when the connection is new. Because home is not built in time, it's built in attunement. You don't need 10 years of knowing someone to feel deeply connected. You just simply need resonance. It's that emotional click where your inner world meets theirs and both expand. And someone is aligned when being around them feels like it's a relief. It's steadiness, it's curiosity, clarity, comfort. That subtle expansion of the mind. You don't shrink. You don't monitor yourself. You don't negotiate your value. You don't perform. You just are. And for women who are self-aware and intelligent, intuitive, and often neurodivergent and deeply emotionally attuned, that kind of ease is rare. And it's rare and profoundly attractive. But this goes far beyond romance. We often make the mistake when we limit attraction to romantic connection, because some of the most strongest, most transformative attractions we ever feel are platonic. The friend who walks into your life and feels instantly familiar, the colleague who becomes a confidant, the woman who understands you so intuitively it feels like she's reading your emotional astrology chart. I say that because I've got a good friend who is an astrologer and she can read me like a book. The person you can talk to for hours as if the conversation has been waiting for years. This too is attraction, and in many cases it's deeper and it's more stable and more life-changing than romantic desire. Because romantic attraction may spark transformation, but soul friendships, they sustain it. And when you're starting to build your circle of trust, this is when finding good humans feels like you're striking gold, really. Because trust is one of the hardest things for self-aware women to navigate. We have at times given it too freely, too quickly, to the wrong people, to those who are charming but not consistent, to those who have loved us with their wounds instead of their healing, and to those who have taken it without giving it back. I have done this, okay? I have done all of those things. And I know so many women out there who have done all of those things too. So when someone truly trustworthy enters our life, the experience is almost startling. Suddenly you're not bracing for disappointment. You're not waiting for the mask to slip. You're not monitoring the emotional climate of the interactions between you. You're not overthinking your worth. Healthy people don't require your self-abandonment to connect with you. And that steadiness, that safe, reciprocal, grounded trust, that's one of life's rarest experiences. And finding good humans is gold. Keeping them is sacred work, but your circle does not need to be large, it just needs to be aligned. The right people don't change you, they reveal you. In their presence, your natural humour, it starts to return. Your ideas, they sharpen. Your depth becomes an asset, and it's not too much, you don't feel too much. And your softness is safe, and your strength is celebrated, not feared. And the best people, they don't just accept you, they activate you. You come home to yourself because they aren't threatened by your fullness. This is the true power of like-minded souls. They make your life bigger without making your world feel heavier. As women evolve, something shifts, you see. We stop collecting people and we start curating them. We no longer crave quantity, we crave quality. We no longer crave attention, we crave attunement. We no longer crave being liked by everyone, we crave being understood by the right few. At this stage, attraction becomes less about excitement and more about fit, you know? It's less about intensity and it becomes more about integrity. It's less about this instant chemistry shown on the movies, and it becomes more about like lasting resonance. And this is the season where we build our circle of aligned, conscious, emotionally intelligent humans, because they are the ones who walk beside our growth, not against it. Platonic attraction is not lesser, it's foundational. And some attractions, they're not meant to become romantic ones, but that does not reduce their significance. Platonic attraction can be steady and deep and supportive and enduring and so transformative. And these are the connections that remind you that love exists in so many different forms, and that friendship is one of the most underrated forms of intimacy we will ever experience. You can have a soulmate who never becomes a lover. You can have a twin flame that is simply a friend. You can have a kindred spirit who reshapes your life without ever touching your body. Attraction is not just desire, it is recognition. It's the quiet power of being with people who get you. There is nothing more regulating for a human nervous system than being with someone who truly, deeply understands you. They don't misunderstand your intensity. They don't misread your silence. They don't mistake your depth for neediness. They don't shrink from your power. They don't weaponize your vulnerabilities. Instead, they just meet you, wholly, without hesitation. The right people won't just feel like home, they will feel like your evolution. Because every aligned connection, romantic or platonic, it's just a mirror, it's a compass. And it's an invitation to a fuller, freer version of you. This is the truth about attraction. It's not just about fireworks, and it's not about fantasy, and it's not about this possession, and it's not about performance. Attraction, when you strip it right back, is about resonance and recognition and belonging. It's the universe delivering a quiet message through the presence of another human, Here is someone who sees you. Here is someone who matches you. Here is someone who helps you come home to yourself. Whether they become a lover or a friend or a lifelong part of your circle, these connections, they are worth keeping. Because when you finally meet good humans, real humans, the kind that are emotionally attuned and self-aware and grounded and kind, that is gold. It's rare and sacred gold, and it's the kind that you want to build your life around. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you do want to know more about how to attract the right people into your life, I do suggest reading the book How to Be the Love You Seek. It's around breaking cycles and finding peace and healing your own relationships, and it's by this amazing woman named Dr. Nicole LaPera. And the book, it's got like a whole lot of scientific research in it that teaches us how to recognize our dysfunctional patterns, and identify their roots in our earliest relationships. It helps us breaking those cycles and building security and compassion within ourselves and within others, So I do think that anybody who is interested in building more solid relationships with other people and those connections, this book is a great book around foundational self-love, around paving the way for deeper, more harmonious connections with everyone around you. So, great book. Highly recommend it. Read it if you want to. Transform your relationships, but that transformation comes from transforming yourself first. Anyway, I have rambled on long enough. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and I have so much to get through. So I am going to go now, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning into the Reawaken You podcast. If you loved what you heard, please take a moment to rate or review this podcast in the app that you're listening on. It really does help others to find this show. And if there's someone you know who would love this too, please share this with them. I'm also over on Substack at the House of Reawakening, where I share my latest articles, musings, and whatever else is on my mind. So you'll find the link in the show notes below. I'd love for you to join me over there too. Until next time, stay awake, stay authentic, and stay connected to your truth.